All right, guys. So in my podcasting studio with me right now is I have my two daughters, Rylan. Say hi, Rylan.
Hi.
And Morgan.
Hi.
And we have been reviewing, what's this game, Rylan?
Paper Mario's Color Splash.
Color Splash. For what system? What system is that? The Nintendo WiiU. WiiU, okay.
Yeah.
Well, before we start too far into this interview about this game, you guys, you've had this for a little over a week, right? Nintendo sent us a copy of it, so it was really nice of them. So Rylan, tell me, how old are you?
8.
You're 8 years old, so you're in grade 3. Morgan, how old are you?
6.
What grade are you in?
1.
Grade 1, she says. She says, like, Dad, why don't you know that? So the reason I asked that question is it probably has some importance when we talk about how this game works and how it plays, right? So let's start off with this question. What did you guys think of Paper Mario Color Splash for the Wii U? Let's start with Morgan. So Morgan, you gotta talk right into the mic.
I think it's really nice because there's like you can go to these places and you have these cards that you can get, and it's a really good detail because it's actually paper.
Okay, so you're talking about the cards there. So a little bit you're talking about the battle cards. Those are really cool, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a moment and talk about that in a second. But then you're talking about the detail, right? So you're talking about like the graphics and the scenery, right?
Like how it's like it's kind of like Yoshi's Woolly World. It's this one says Paper Mario. It's all paper and it's colored.
Okay.
And you splash stuff, because compared to the Yoshi's Woolly World, so it's like all yarn and stuff.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That was something you guys noticed really early on, was that the idea, the graphics, that textured look is very similar, right? So Yoshi's Woolly World, it was wool, and in Paper Mario, it was paper. And cardboard, we saw cardboard a lot too, right? That look. Which of those worlds do you guys prefer? Do you prefer the woolly world or the the cardboard stuff?
I would say like
A little close to the mic there, sweetheart.
the paper.
Okay.
Is like way more thinner.
Okay.
So it's like really cool. And what Roland tried is that you didn't have to paint, and she just painted her head, and then it doesn't come off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so there's paint, right? Yeah. At one point you painted a toad, right?
2
times, and the paint didn't come off it, right?
No.
No, it's pretty funny. So what's the objective in the game? What do you have to do? Rylan, can you tell us a bit?
Like paint lots of stuff.
Okay, so you have to paint stuff. So you're right. So paint has been removed from objects
like
and
flowers and toads.
Right. So you have to go around and you find these kind of like white spots in the scenery and you paint them, right? And then sometimes you're right. Sometimes there's toads that you're finding and you're painting them, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about paint, so I would think, man, it's probably hard to find paint. Is it hard to find paint in the level, or is there lots of it?
Lots of it everywhere.
Right. Okay.
So you can actually smash stuff.
Yep.
So you get paint.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. So there's sometimes you can find like a tree that you might have to hit and paint falls out, or bushes come out, or there are bushes and you have to hit those and paint come out as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So paint's not super hard. What else do you have to do in the game?
You have to fight creatures and stuff like the suction guy.
So there's some guys in there, right? So there's some shy guys, there's Koopas, there's Goombas. So very similar characters that we see when we play Mario normally, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then, but how do you fight them? Do you jump on them like you do normal?
No, you play those cards.
Okay.
And then, like, if it's like a boot, it smashes. If it's a 3 boot, you smash them 3 times.
Right. Yeah. So you get cards, right? Are cards relatively easy to find, or are they difficult?
They're kind of difficult, kind of easy, in between.
So do you find them more or less than you find paint?
Less.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So when you go into a battle, you get to choose a card. And where do the cards show up? Where do they tell me about?
Well, you hit trees.
Yep.
They come with it.
Yep.
Once you're done the battle.
Yep.
They sometimes come around there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Once you're done the battle.
Yep.
And then you get sometimes coins with it.
Right. So you go into a battle, right? There's an enemy, and then you're given your cards you get to select from. So where do you select the cards from?
like this little menu. You go to menu
And is the menu on the screen or is it on the gamepad?
on the gamepad.
Okay, so you select your cards, right? And later as the game progresses, you get 2 slots, right? Because you get to choose 2 cards. And then you just drag and drop them, right? And then what else do you have to do?
Yep. If it's like blank, you have to paint it. You have to hold the finger down and then it paints it.
Right, so you can hold the so you can get cards, some of them that are already painted and other ones that aren't painted at all, right? So then when you're ready to battle, you can either choose to use a card that has paint on it or one that doesn't have paint on it. If it doesn't have paint on it, you can add paint by holding a stylus. And that actually takes away from the amount of paint that you have in your inventory, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think happens if you use a card that doesn't have paint versus a card that does have paint?
If you don't paint it, it just still does it, but it just not no paint.
Sure, so it still does damage, it's still effective, but not as effective if it has paint on it, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of got to decide whether you want to use paint or not.
Yeah, we don't want to use all your paint.
Yeah, so you might want to be conservative. So after you've painted them, then what do you do?
They fight.
Oh, what's one step before that? You've got to lick them, right?
Lick them, oh yeah.
Yeah, so you do it on your gamepad and then you kind of flick them and you kind of like, it makes it look like they fly across the screen onto the big screen, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys like that process?
Yeah.
What did you think of that, Morgan?
Good.
It was good?
Yeah.
Did you find it annoying at all or did you like it?
I liked it.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that we especially just found a couple of moments ago when we were playing is that you really have to look at the cards in your hand against who would work well with, right? With what cards you have. Because so we had a spiky. Now, do you guys remember what a spiky was?
It was a helmet. It was a helmet that you wear, technically.
Yeah, there was that. But we were going against a spiky. The spiky was like a turtle with the white spikes, right?
Yeah.
And would we want to jump on a spiky?
No, because then it would spike you like a porcupine.
So you would actually need to use a hammer.
Yeah, that's right. You could use a hammer. Yeah, because you don't want to hurt yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's right. And then there are other ones like the Koopas that were flying, right? You couldn't use a hammer for them because they're in the air and you're on the floor, right?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of think about which what cards you're going to use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you have those kind of cards. There are other interesting cards. Do you remember those ones?
Oh, where
you okay?
Kind of like go in space.
Right, so those cards were known as thing cards, and I guess these were cards that we saw from other Paper Marios, but we haven't played them. But what were some? Yeah, Morgan, go ahead. What were some of the cards that you got to use?
There were some plunger.
Oh, plunger, yeah.
Yeah, I tried that one. It was so hilarious.
Okay, what else?
There's
The fan. Do you remember the fan?
that fan.
Yeah, and there was also a big lemon that we had, right?
Yeah.
Those are kind of interesting. Yeah, they squirt lemon juice in their eyes. It hurts. So, yeah, those are kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So far, do you guys like the game?
Yeah, I love it.
You love it?
love
Okay. What is there anything that you kind of find a bit challenging?
I think what the challenging part is that
Talking to the mic, honey.
that well, the game there is like you get to have like new monsters, and some of the monsters are like way harder than you think.
So some of the bad guys are harder than you thought they'd be? Yeah, okay, fair enough. What about there's a lot of reading in this game.
Yes.
Right? Is that hard for you? Now Morgan, you're just starting to read. So I have to read the words to you. And you like that? Okay. Rylan, what about you? Because you're in grade 3. Is some of it hard to read?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah? Is it just because there's a lot of it, or is it because are the words hard?
The words are really hard.
Words, some of them can be hard. Yeah, some of them can be a little bit hard. Do you guys prefer playing it by yourself or playing it together as a family?
Together as a family.
Right, yeah. So this is a really great game of what we call couch co-op, which means you kind of sit down together and you can pass the gamepad around like we were before this recording and listening to it, right, and reading the lines. I find the script is really funny, really well written, right? Did you guys laugh at some of the spots?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because we got like the rescue toads, right? Those are kind of cool. Yeah, what else?
So there was this beach thing. There was this paint can. Well, it wasn't a paint can. The Toads, Princess Peach, they thought it was like a paint can. And so he travels with it. So they went to this beach, and so they found these chairs, and then they relaxed on it, and then the toads were hula dancing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, you do remember that, right? It does a really great job with the script. I think the story and has a lot of fun and laughter at itself.
And the music is funny.
The music is really nice too. Yeah. And even when you don't have like a lot of energy, remember when our hearts were not a lot, and the music was really slow. It was like do 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 do. It kind of made it seem like you were in trouble. So they played a great use of music there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think what was I gonna say? The other thing I completely missed. I think has got back to what you were saying, Morgan. The really great aesthetic that they do with paper, right? They really play into that a lot. So remember how we just found that toad a couple minutes ago, and he said, "Oh, I fell off the cliff, and my leg is crinkled because he's paper. His leg gets crinkled, and how do we have to uncrinkle his leg?
Gotta hammer him.
You had to hit him with a hammer so it flattens it out, right?
Hammer time.
So yeah, hammer time. Way beyond your age. So yeah, it plays really good. So do you guys like the game?
Oh yeah.
I don't like it. I love it.
You love it? Okay. Do you like it more than Yoshi's Woolly World?
Yeah, because Yoshi really wanted to just keep dying every minute or so.
Okay, so you had some more difficulty with that one. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be challenging sometimes at times. But you had fun with it too?
Love it.
Love it. Okay, cool. All right, so that is Paper Mario Color Splash for the Wii U. Came out just on October 7th, this Friday, I think it was. Yeah. So you should check it out, and we're going to keep playing it as well. All right?
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching
Nintendo Dash!